understanding of the wicks and what they represent. All right?
Okay.
So in order to build an uptrend, we need up candles. I want to thank everybody else in the room for allowing me to just get off topic a bit, but I don't like to leave anybody hanging behind. So, and if you guys ever get stuck, I'll give you the same attention. So believe me on that, okay? So we need up candles, okay? And I know I need 3 to 5 of them to make an up thrust, or make an impulse move, or to make a drive move, or to make a continuation move. Whatever name you want to pick for it, pick the one that locks it in your brain. So I know I need 3 to 5 up candles. Okay? So now price in an uptrend, it goes up and it pulls back. It takes a break. And then it goes up and it pulls back. It takes a break. It goes up and then it pulls back and it takes a break, and it repeats that pattern all the way up. Okay? So the next thing we need to know is, okay, since price goes up and then makes a pullback, what kind of candles do we need to make a pullback? Now, I'll give you the answer for this one because it's my own interpretation of it. In order to make a pullback, we need pullback candles. And what is a pullback candle? In an uptrend, a pullback candle is a candle where the high is lower than the high of the prior candle. Let me open this up a little bit. I don't know what the resolution is everyone's looking at. You got me? So in this case, this high is lower than the high of the prior candle. That gives me a clue that we could be in the beginning of a pullback. And I know that in one candle, I don't have to wait 50 candles to figure it out. In one candle, I know there's a possibility of a pullback. So I can mark it with a trend line. Now, as price moves, I may have to take this trend line and adjust it a little bit. You got me? But at least in the beginning, I can say, okay, I've got the possibility of a pullback. Okay? When the pullback is over, price takes off again. Okay? Price moves up. And now I have a lower high. You see this, the high of this candle is lower than the high of that candle. You see that, Gene?
Yes,
so
sir,
that tells me this is a possible pullback. And this is the kind of thing you're going to be doing on your homework, Gene. Okay? Just so you know. And I'll show you a sample of somebody's homework just so you get an idea of how I work. All right? So now here we have another thrust up. And now you see this high is lower than that high? Gene?
I see it.
Okay, so then I mark it with a trend line. Not a guarantee I'm going to trade the trend line break. I just need to make that mark to know I'm in a pullback. And then we have the same phenomenon here where we went up a couple of candles. And then we have a high that's lower than the prior candle. I mark that with a pullback. I mark it with a trend line. So in an uptrend, we need long candles, bullish candles, drive candles, impulse candles, candles that close higher than when they start. Then in the pullbacks, right? Yep, they all mean the same thing. I don't know which one will click for you. That's why I do it this way, and I explained that over the last couple of days. Okay?
No problem.
And they all mean the same thing. So when you hear me do a cluster of words like that, that's what it is. And then we have our impulse move and our pullback, our impulse or push and our pullback, our drive move and our pullback. Okay? Now, breaking that down into smaller pieces. Well, what does the drive move or the impulse move look like? It is usually 3 to 5 candles in the direction of the trend and usually 2 to 3 back. So in this case, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 candles in the direction of the trend. Now I'm going to mark that. Okay. And then we had, in this case, 3 candles as a pullback right in here. So we had the push up and the pullback. Okay. And sometimes it could be 4 candles long. Sometimes it could be 2 candles long. You got me? But that's the DNA of it. 3 to 5 in your direction, 2 to 3 the other way. The other thing, like in the downtrend, the impulse move should equal the next impulse move. So we have this impulse move, and I'm going to assume an entry above this high. You with me?
Yes.
Gene?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Okay, let's assume that we enter one tick above this high. So I'm going to put this line one tick above the high, and sure enough, the second impulse move equaled the first impulse move. So now I'm going to assume another entry one tick above this high. And if I bring this line up, you'll see that the last move pretty much equaled the first two moves. Okay? Any questions on that?
No.
John, I'll get to that in a minute. John's asking me if I wait for a trend line break and all that. And I'm not talking trading systems today, John. I'm only trying to stick with the DNA because you got to understand what's going on with price. Once you get priced under your belt, everything else becomes a lot easier. And I did give a simple trading system yesterday, John, and I'll touch on that again. All right, so I won't, leave you out of the mix. So now we understand the components of an uptrend. We understand the components of a downtrend. The uptrend is bullish candles or candles that close higher than when they started, and pullback candles. We know that the bullish move up should move in three waves. And we know that the three waves should be relatively close to each other in size. We know that the pullbacks should also be relatively the same in size. Okay? Some are going to be a little more, a little less, but just relatively. If you wanted to get like a gauge, if you wanted to kind of estimate where to put a stop, you can certainly use that information to do so. All right? Any questions on that? Now, I covered a lot in this last, hour or so that we went over in quite some detail, but I want to make sure that you're up to speed with this, Gene.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, let me go picking on people. David V. I don't know who that is. David V. Give me a pair. Yeah, why it does this weird thing sometimes, the chat room. I don't know why. David V. And I guess he's not here. Oh, there he is. Maybe delay. EuroCAD. EuroCAD. Right here. I think we did Euro Aussie and EuroCAD are going to look similar. Okay, and Jim, give me a time frame, please. Why does this room keep ballooning
doing
up?
that.
Yeah, I don't know. It keeps ballooning up for some reason. Jim, if you're there, give me a time frame. Okay, Jim is saying 5 minutes. So we're on EuroCAD, and I'm going to go 5 minute. And let me squeeze this chart in a little bit. Okay, and here's a downtrend here. Okay. Everybody, you okay there, Gene? All right. So here's our downtrend, and here's our drive move down. All right. And I won't measure it in pips. I'll just use the line. Everyone agree that's about the length of the move? And then here we have the higher candle wick low. This candle wick, the low was higher than this low. I can put a trend line. Let's assume we enter at the close of this candle. I would expect that this move should equal the first move, which it did. Okay? Here again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles down. I did mention 3 to 5 candles in the thrust or the drive or the impulse move. I did mention this works on every time frame, every pair, and every instrument. Gold, oil, wheat, soybean, Facebook, whatever. Here's our pullback, and here's our higher low right here. I can put a trend line in here. Everybody agree with that trend line? Let's assume that my entry is after this long leg doji. Okay, let's assume my entry is after this doji. All right, I'm expecting this third move to move about the same as the first two, and as you can see, it did. Okay, different time frame, different pair, same results. Okay, so what I'm showing you happens over and over and over. Consistent, repeatable patterns. That's what I look at for price action. Now I'm just looking for an uptrend, and we have a similar situation here. We have our drive up, okay, and we have our pullback. You see what this white candle? Oh, let me open this up a little bit. Again, I can't tell what kind of resolution you guys are working with. Well, actually, let me put this over here, and here's our pullback. Okay, right there. Let's assume my entry is one tick above this high. All right, you agree with that? And this is about the length of the first move. And you see the second move pretty much equaled the first move in length. All right, and now I'll go over to the third one here. And now here's our third drive up right here. And would you agree that this lower high right here would constitute a trend line? Everyone agree with that? I'll put the trend line. And let's assume we're going to enter one tick above this. All right. And then there, now as you can see, this went up and probably would have stopped this out. And that happens in trading. There's no way you're going to avoid that. But I would have been very happy with this entry. And keep in mind that in this entry, we did make 8 pips at least. Or we could have got at least 8 pips out of it. And it's a 5-minute chart. So again, depending on what you're looking for, there was a potential there to make some money. Yeah.
Lou,
yes,
I have my I understand what you're saying, but my problem is identifying it and placing it into money. That comes later in time.
Yeah, I want you to identify it. You can't make money until you can identify it. You know, it's like trying to knowing the difference between fool's gold and real gold. If you're mining for gold, if you don't know what real gold looks like, you know, you can't turn it into money. Did you understand? All right. So I want you to recognize it first. This is school. This is not, you know, and something I have to point out, Gene, what goes on with adults when they try to learn something. Adults get this sense of, well, I'm X years old. I've done this in my life. I've done that in my life. I've got all this experience that other people in the world like me don't have. And they tend to think that they are, now hear me carefully when I say this. They tend to think that they're smarter than they are. And I'm not saying that they're dumb. What I'm saying is that they have forgotten what it is to learn. When you learn, you're going to be in a mindset of being like a child again, where you don't know. And as an adult, you don't want to be there anymore because you're an adult. I'm X years old. I've done this. I've done that. I got kids in the house and da-da-da, and I travel here and blah, blah, blah. And you tend to not want to be put back in that state of not knowing what the hell is going on. However, the only way to learn quickly is to go right back to being a 3-year-old kid. You follow me? Ooh, what's that? Ooh, how's that work? Ooh, show me again. That's the fastest way to learn. Okay, is to instantly tell yourself, I'm smart enough to know when I'm dumb. You got me?
But you know that I don't.
Write that down and stick it on your wall. I'm smart enough to know when I'm dumb. Because then when you know when you're dumb, you have no problems in asking for help. You have no problems with, can we go over it again? But right now your frustration is you think you should be picking this up faster. You get me? And if it takes you an extra 10 minutes, then use the 10 minutes. So assume this is like a college. Assume this is like an extension course where you're not expected to learn it the first time. Hey, Phil, I'm with you on that, Phil. Phil made a comment that kind of hit the nail on the head for me. So, Um,
I saw it.
okay, so you understand, Gene?
Yes, I do.
Don't rattle your own cage worrying about, oh my God, I can't figure this out. Why can't I see this? That's what learning is about. Tell yourself, I am going to see this. I can see this. And make sure you hit that home every single. I can do this. All right.
I will.
One of my favorite quotes is that there's no force on earth that is as powerful as a made up mind. Nothing. Okay. When you look at
Yes,
the
sir.
great things that happen, all the great things in this world that ever happen from someone making up their mind that they're going to do it, and be damned what the rest of the world thought. Okay.
Yes, thank
So
you.
just keep that in mind. This is a school. School is supposed to be where you ask questions. Like I take a lot of different courses and stuff, and I'm shocked at how many people are afraid to be temporarily embarrassed to get to the gold on the other side. We'll be in a class and da da da, and then someone will, we'll sit around having coffee. Someone will ask me a question or bring a question up in front of the group at the coffee shop that they should have asked in the class, but they didn't want to, they didn't want to put themselves, they didn't want to be laughed at and all this other bullshit. Laugh at me. This way, laughter is much, much better than tears. Certain kinds of tears, I'll say. You can have tears of joy or whatever. But laughter makes you feel good. So I'd rather feel good or help others feel good than be in the dumps. All right. So, um, do you see how the same thing applied, Gene, in the uptrend and the downtrend?
Yes.
The same building blocks. And if we look
Yeah.
at this trend here we have here we have consolidation after an
Hey, can
uptrend.
we look at this one? Can we look at this one right here that you're looking at? I instantly. Could you block out that blue? Could you take that blue out from the consolidation?
Yeah. Huh?
Okay. Uh, Consolidation. I only saw it with the two lines in the middle for whatever reason. I don't know. I couldn't get
Well,
past seeing with the first can.
we didn't go into consolidation yet. I didn't teach it yet. I'm
I
just
know, but for
showing you
some
that
reason
the market is
it
going
stuck.
sideways.
It stuck from when you did it a couple of an hour ago or half an hour ago, whatever. It stuck. But here on the upward trend, where would you put the first
Which
candle?
one?
Where would you time? Right there. Yes, sir. See the
In
upward
here.
trend? Where would you apply it? Yes, sir. Where would you apply the? Where would your line actually begin? Would it apply a little left of you?
Where would what line begin?
If you were going to create an upward trend, you were creating lines for upward trend just to show us where it begins or where it ended.
Right.
Okay, where do you?
I
Where
would
would you
begin
be?
at the
Where would you
swing
start?
low. At the swing low.
Show me.
Right here. The
Swing low.
lowest low. Yeah. I would go
There
like that.
you
That's
go.
the uptrend. Because it started right here.
Okay.
From
Yeah.
here to here,
At
it
the
was
lowest point.
sideways. That's the lowest
The
point, and
lowest
it took
point.
off from there. And now here is the highest point, and from here to there, it went down. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
All right. So that's why I'm drawing.
That
And
I,
if you look, and from here up is an uptrend. See, this is the lowest point, and I go up here to what may be potentially the highest point.
right.
Do you see that?
Right. 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 Right.
And,
Right. Right.
and
Right.
and
Right.
we're going
Right.
to do a lesson on trend lines because I don't know, how you were taught to draw trend lines and all that. And
I
I
wasn't.
have, oh, you weren't. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, all right, no problem.
Remember,
Um,
you came in my
so
second day.
okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that, and I'll take that into account. So I just want to show you consolidation. That's one of the four building blocks. Consolidation. This is another building block. Oh, right in here is a little bit of consolidation. What I want you to see is every time we get out of consolidation, the market zooms. It gets as far away from that as it can possibly go because there's no money in it. No one's making money in here. You follow me? That's why consolidations are powerful because people are like, I want money. I want money. And they wait for something to break out. Um, oh, that's a pretty good quote, Phil. Okay. Now Teddy is saying
Yeah, it
consolidation
is.
on the Euro Aussie. Okay. Uh, uh, is everybody okay if we go take a look at the Euro Aussie right now? Teddy just posted it. I don't like to jump all over the place because sometimes I've been in rooms like this and we end up jumping so much all over the place we get off track. So okay, I got a couple of yeses. So we'll go take a look at the Euro Aussie right now. Um, and this broker's new, so I have to get used to where these things are. And what time frame, Ted? Oh, 15 minute. Um, oh, excellent, Ted. Excellent. Yeah, this is consolidation. But now, you know what's beautiful about this is now you are no longer lost. You get me? You no longer will turn a chart on and say, "Gee, where am I?" Okay, and let's follow this whole thing through. We had a thrust down. Okay, and here's our pullback. Everyone agree with this pullback in here? Anybody? Any takers? Do we agree with this pullback? There's one
Yep.
earlier, Mike, that I skipped right here, but I'm just trying to make a quick point and break Mike's chops while I'm at it. Okay, I see that, Mike. I skipped one. And I would expect that this second move should be within 10% or so of this one. So let me copy this down here. And lo and be goddamn hold. Okay? You see that? Price action is the natural movement of the market with consistent, repeatable patterns. Consistent, repeatable patterns. You got me? And now that we're in a downtrend, but now we've got consolidation. You got me? And when you get consolidation, you can either wait for it to break out or you can set up your consolidation trade. You follow me? But you need to know where you are. So now if I'm in a trend, I know, well, we'll get into trading this as a trend, turning this into money. But I don't want to move on until I'm clear that you're clear, Gene. Rich is saying, look at 5 minute on this pair. Maybe similar is better word. I'm not sure what you're saying, Mike. Similar to what? Though you're saying, I guess Mike is trying to say the move should be similar in size. Is that what you're saying? No, it's consistent. No. The word similar and the word consistent means two different things. Similar means two shades of yellow are kind of almost the same. They're similar. Consistent is every banana is yellow. You got me? Every banana is yellow, but the degree of yellow is similar. Some may be a little darker, some maybe have some spots on it. You get what I mean, Mike? Okay, Mike is just busting my chops. I'm gonna have to send some angry people to his house and straighten him out. Okay, so consistent, repeatable patterns. Do you see that repeatable pattern? The drive down, the pullback, and then the next drive. Do you see that, Gene?
I see it. I see
Okay,
the pull. I see the drive down. I see the pull back, and I see the drive back down again.
all right. Would you say that that was a consistent thing that happens in the markets?
A drive, a pull back, and a drive, either up or down.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, yeah.
Okay,
I
so
mean, it could
here's
go
a
either way,
guy,
but yeah.
but I want you to get it. You got to get it. I can't, there's a push up, pull back, push up, and I'm just doing this rough, Mike. Pull back, push up, pull back. That's consistent. You get a push up, pull back. That's consistent, and it's repeatable. So if it's consistent and repeatable, you can turn that into cash. Okay, once you develop a system to trade it. Okay, I got to make sure you understand this, Gene, and everybody else. If anybody's got a question, let me know. I want to get into turning this into money. Okay, no questions. Um, George is saying, Lou, pound dollar on the daily. Please, starting from end of 2000. Okay, I'm going to jump one more time, and then after that, I won't jump around anymore. I want to get on to the next topic. Um, Hang on. George is saying pound dollar on the daily. Okay, pound dollar on the daily. And starting from end of 2013. So this December 2013 is here. All right. I'm assuming this is what you're talking about, George. I forgot who asked me that question. The chat keeps moving up, and it gets lost. Okay, so starting from here, um, I'm not sure. What is it that you want me to point out, George, or what is it you want me to elaborate on? Okay, end of 2013. That's here. That's in December. End of 2013 to today. Um, well, what do you want me to do? You want me to point out the drives and the pullbacks or something? Well, the direction of the market is long. The market has been long since then, because if I draw a simple trend line here, we haven't broken this trend line, so we have no evidence that the market's going to go short, if that's what you mean. But if we start here, and we have this push up, and this would be our pullback here, would be these guys. Okay, then we have another push up way up here, and then we got a real awkward sort of pullback right here. Do you see that? Um, I'm not sure if that's what he's getting at. Oh, okay, okay. So he wants me to point out the moves. All right, and then we have a another push up here, a drive up, and then this would be our trend line break in here. All right. It didn't give us anything to go long until over here, so we sat through a long time with nothing. And then we had the push up here, and then the lower high here. This is really awkward like this. But those are essentially how that market would have moved from the end of December on pound dollar daily. And when we get into ranges and other things, I'm just going to show you this real quick. When we get into ranges, I'll cover this. What's going on here is that we're trading inside of this box range. See that? I'd be looking for price to bounce off of this and go back to the top again. And there's a way you can do that. You can confirm with indicators and all that. That's pretty accurate. But that's
Repeat that. You're looking for what?
No, I'd be
Repeat that.
waiting
You're
for
looking for what?
price. I'm looking for price to bounce off the bottom of this trend line and go back up. But I won't trade it until I get
What?
confirmation with an indicator or so. Okay, and I don't want to get off topic. I just wanted just to show
Okay,
you
sorry.
just something to look at for later. Later on, one of the things we'll cover when we cover range trades. Daryl says he took an entry yesterday on GU, which he thinks was accurate. And what was the outcome of the trade, Daryl? A couple of other people told me they took trades on what we learned yesterday, and they made some money. So I'm happy. Well, they made some pips. You got 128. All right, works for me. Okay, so Daryl made 128 pips on the sniper, Daryl. All right, good. So on yesterday's lesson, Daryl applied it and made 128 pips. Okay, that'd have been $1,200. He lost 60 on the pound chef. I can live with that. And again, I'm going to go over some of the fine points of the entries in a few minutes, because I gave you just a raw entry, but there's a few things that that I want to touch on when we get to that. But just for a basic setup, it's a very clean setup. All right. Now, does anybody want me to go over one more pair and one more time frame in the building and construction of an uptrend or a downtrend. And I believe this is being recorded. Okay? Does anybody want me to go over any aspect of building an uptrend or a downtrend, or breaking down the DNA of the uptrend or a downtrend? Okay, so I can move on to the next step. All right. So now the next step would be, let's try to turn this into some money. Okay. So let's assume that we're going to intraday trade, meaning we want to be in and out of the trade the same day. Okay, fair enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a 1 hour chart or a 4 hour chart. You guys pick which one, 1 hour or 4 hour.
1 hour.
Pavel is saying 1 hour. Okay, he got there first. Someone just tried to speak. Who was that?
Gene, 1 hour.
Okay, Gene,
1 hour.
Okay, Gene, and we're on a 1 hour. So let me see who's in here. Teddy, give me a pair, please. And I'm just waiting for Teddy to give me a pair. Pound yen. Okay, we're going to be on a 1 hour pound yen. Where is it? Okay, 1 hour pound yen.